Welcome, welcome. What we're exploring here is your world, your experience of your world is how you're seeing it. Your experience of your world is how you're seeing it. So if we extrapolate out just in the field of living humans right now, that's a lot of different perspectives, billions of perspectives. Many of them may have some commonalities. Many of them may be so far apart seemingly as night and day. One of my teacher's teachers was fond of saying, your world is as you're seeing it, and if you don't like the world you're seeing, change the prescription of your glasses. And that's an invitation to look in new ways, to look at new perspectives, fresh views. Where we're looking from determines what we can see. So when you and I come to a moment or experience a moment, and we come to this moment tense, our spinal position is caved, our breathing is short, how are we going to experience a perspective? What are we going to be able to see? When the spine is long and free from strain, the breath is full, the exhales are slow, the body is relaxed, how might our perspective be then? That is enough to just stop the video and leave that as a clear opportunity for transformation. Spinal position, breath, and softening the body, relaxing the body. If you're new here, I teach relaxation of the body in any practice and all day long through what I call the 6 points of softening. So make a fist, make it really, really tight. Experience what that feels like. Really feel that. You know, that's how many of us have walked around, and many people still do walk around life this tense, but we've gotten so accustomed to it that it feels normal. So when we're confronted with deep stillness and quiet in the forest, it can feel confronting. Or some other circumstance, like entering a beautiful meditation hall where a lot of beautiful people are in deep meditation. That could feel confronting. In the face of the relaxation, we find our mind seems even busier. Oh my gosh, it's not busier. You've just had the contrast of the quiet and the stillness to be able to see in greater relief what's been going on with your own nervous system, body, mind, and breathing, and spinal position. So let's take a deep breath together. Inhale deeply. As you exhale, have the feeling that you're setting down a heavy burden from every cell in your body, and just make it up that it's easy. Do that twice more. Inhale deeply. Let go. Inhale deeply. And let go. And with your imagination, as though you're opening a tightly closed fist with your mind, soften the soles of your feet continuously. The skin, the tendons and connective tissue, as well as the muscles, all the way to the bone. Do the same thing with the palms of your hands. Do the same thing with the inside and outside corners of your eyes, letting them feel like they're melting like butter on a hot day. Oh, sweet release. Softening the region inside and around your ears. Make it up that that's easy. Soften your tongue from end to end, all the way from its tip all the way down into the throat. You might feel a release in your neck or even your upper ribs. And finally, the 6th point, soften all the muscles in the pelvic floor groin region, sphincter, PC muscle, letting go, letting go, letting go. The breath is coming in a little deeper now, and it's going out slower. The more you slow your exhales, the more the thinking stream slows down, the more the heart rate slows down, the wider perspective we have access to on anything. So keep softening soles, palms, eyes, ears, tongue, pelvic floor, and just notice right now, what is different? What, if anything, is different in your experience of your body, your experience of where you're seated or standing watching this video, your experience of yourself? Is anything different? Has anything changed? Have the edges softened at all? It's okay if they haven't. If you've been coming from a lot of tension for any number of reasons, it may take some more practice to notice the difference. The difference may be very subtle, and you're ordinary ego mind may be looking for big shocking changes, choirs of angels or something like that. Some of the most transformative happenings that can change an entire life start off very, very subtle. Take another deep breath. Let go on the exhale. So as of this recording, I'm recording this in the second half of February 2025. We are preparing, and I've just recorded the content for March 2025 for my Empowered You, our Empowered You community. This is a place where we do practice together every month, throughout the month. There's a PDF with guided suggestions for journal prompts, contemplations, other walking around practices, mirror work and things like this to deepen. There's a bit of writing for me on the theme of the month, and then 2 live sessions, an opening video with opening teachings to explore the month's theme, and then a guided meditation, discount codes for many of my offerings, and so much more. So in that community, the theme for March 2025 is context is decisive. I heard this decades ago, and it changed me fundamentally. To see the difference between what's actually real and so, that anybody who's in an objective point of view could see about an event, and then what's my story about it. I'll give you an example. So for many years walking through my gym, in varying states of feeling not so great sometimes, but not knowing it, and not realizing that my unworthiness was running the show, I could walk in and smile at a few different people, and it seemed like they weren't smiling back. So what's really so in that circumstance? Walking, that was really happening. Someone could see me walking, me smiling, and then seemingly the absence of a smile on the people that I was looking at. That's all that was happening. It didn't mean anything. It didn't mean I'm worthy or unworthy or they're great or not great. That's all that was happening. My story was, there's something wrong with me or something wrong with them. That's a context I created about that happening, about that content. I created that context based on my history, intention, and available energy in the moment. When I can use the practices of softening and breathing and questioning thoughts that seem difficult, looking for fresh perspectives, I open up a whole new pathway. So there's a lot here already in this video to work with. Maybe for you it's a reminder of something you've known but maybe fallen out of practice, fallen out of it being really conscious in front of awareness. And so this is a refresher, an inspiration, I hope, to keep it alive. Maybe put some signage or sticky notes that are compelling and inspiring, encouraging reminders of how you're going to practice this week and beyond. Your world is as you are seeing it. Are there things that we could all agree on that are seeming to be happening in the world that could be maybe filmed or videotaped? Yeah. We could probably agree that there's trees all over the place. We could probably agree that the sky is blue and it's not cloudy. We could probably agree that there's water in the ocean. These are objective realities. But our commentaries around communities, civilizations, governmental structures, economic systems, and like this, while many people may agree with our commentaries, what are they doing our commentaries to our availability in the moment to grace, our availability to clarity, resourcefulness, and being able to contribute something of value to our world, the world around us, where we are, our city, our town, our state, our country, the earth where we are, underneath our building. So look for perspectives that are empowering to more than just oneself, more than just yourself. Here's another example of context content. Being in a car driving in a major city like here in Los Angeles, you got a lot of overstimulated people, New York City too. So people will do things quite frequently like turning suddenly without a turn signal, no warning, pulling right into your lane. I have been that person in the past that got irate about it. I even would go up at the stop line and knock on somebody's window and be like, what are you doing? Maybe with some expletives involved, some special 4-letter words. First of all, that doesn't help them encourage them into better behavior. If they do, it's out of fear of having me or somebody else get on their case. Second of all, what was my context about what was happening? We've got a little bit of an outside noise. I'm not sure what this is, but hopefully it's not too distracting. Context, content. My context was they're jerks, they're idiots, and they're doing, and I didn't even realize my unspoken to myself context was they're doing this to me. Like somebody's out to get me. They don't even know me. And I remember once years ago telling this to a friend, and I was a participant in a workshop, so was she, and she was my partner for an exercise. And she says to me, well, when that happens to me, she lived in LA too, she goes, I just tell myself maybe they have to poop. Sorry if that's offensive to you, but it's factual. Everyone poops. There's a kid's book called Everyone Poops. But like, if you've ever really had to get to the restroom for number one or number two, and you didn't know when you were going to get there, that can create an urgency that narrows your perspective, and you're just about getting yourself to where you need to go, understandably so. Maybe they're going to the birth of their first child. Maybe they're going to the last breath of somebody they love at the hospital. Grandmother, father, mother, whoever, right? We don't know. We don't know. So what happens is we have an experience through the five senses that innervates the nervous system. We're like, oh, it's a bit of a shock. That car just pulled in front of me. And then however we've stored responses and what we learned before we even had words, watching our parents, loved ones, teachers respond to similar things, that got stored and just kind of comes out of us automatically until we train. And it keeps affecting our perspective. So we may, after years of that, develop a perspective like the world sucks, or people in Los Angeles aren't good, they're not kind, they're just like only about themselves. There are millions of people in Los Angeles. There are surely those people, and there are surely many others who are wonderful. And how do I know? Because I've met so many of them. I'm going to give you another story. Some of you have heard this, some of you haven't. If you've heard it before, hear it for the first time. So there's an old medieval town that's walled, big wall around it, and there's a gatekeeper at each gate. And this old man, kind of bent over, craggy skin, really doesn't look happy, doesn't even smell so great, is arriving on a broken down donkey with his belongings. And he looks at the gatekeeper and goes, huh. The gatekeeper says, welcome to our town. And the man says, I'm moving here. What are the people like here? And the gatekeeper says, well, sir, what were they like where you came from? Oh, that's why I left. Nobody was nice to me. Everybody was just turning their head or mean. Oh, it was so difficult, so unfriendly. The gatekeeper, without skipping a beat, says, sir, you will find those same people here. Next day, this young woman rides up on a horse. It almost seems like there's like rainbows coming off of her body. Like there's just a natural joy. Have you ever encountered somebody like that? There's just this natural joy, like the field around their body. As soon as you get near it, it uplifts you, and you just can't even miss it. It's just palpable. Like, you know, in the ocean, if you've been in a cold patch of water and you move towards a warm patch, you just feel it, right? So she's riding up, and the gatekeeper, he's a pretty happy guy, but he just sits up even straighter, and his chest lifts and his heart opens. He's like, wow, I wonder what's going on here. And he says, welcome to our town. What is your business here? She says, oh, I'm so excited. I'm moving here. Moving here, I'm on a discovery. It was time for me to leave my hometown. I've just finished school, and I'm in an adventure. And she says, what are the people like here? And the gatekeeper says, well, what were they like where you came from? She says, oh, it was so wonderful. Everybody shared everything they had, and there was always an abundant overflow of resources. In fact, we would have a big town dinner every week, and everybody would contribute, and there would be musicians playing music and people cooking and making the different dishes and making flower arrangements, and just everybody looked out for each other. You could always count on somebody being helpful or smiling at you when you left your house. Just people went out of their way to take care of each other while taking care of themselves. And the gatekeeper says, you will find those same people here. Context is decisive. So this is an invitation to examine your context. And if it's not empowering, look for an empowering context. You're not going to find it in the news. You're not going to probably find it much in social media unless you really are careful in how you're looking. You'll find more reasons to stay in the familiar addiction to stress hormones in the body. So if you're enjoying this, I encourage you, use the link below. And if you've not yet experienced this gift, you get 2 weeks of free experiences of the entire Empowered You community and all the library and the archives. We've got over 2 years of archived material. So there's a lot there. So in 2 weeks, you can get a real sense of, is this for you? And it's pretty inexpensive monthly. So that's an opportunity. And maybe you've got everything you need in this video and you're going to put that deeply into practice. But whatever you do, may the fruits of our inner work uplift all beings as well as the earth. May we all be happy, may we all be well, and may we all feel thoroughly loved. See you soon.